I think we got our essay rating a bit up. I forget. Put some music in. Choice, right? A little ash in the coffee. Take off traction control, see what happens. Oh, I shouldn't put my phone there. Hey, whoever, thanks for stopping by and dropping a like and subscription on the YouTube. Much appreciated. I'm gonna get back this slowly but surely. Gonna try and build the YouTube channel instead now. We're on Twitch also, but now I got my internet fixed at 1020p here. Oh, traction control, okay. Let's see that.
I think the race is over. Good job. You did the best you could. Take it easy in the lap.
I don't know why, man. I say the big one now.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Oh dear. We got traction control off.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
I'm not sure if it's helping or not.
There's a slow car ahead. Yellow flag ahead. Watch out in front. This is me for some reason. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh,
Lap time
loser,
is
fuck.
invalidated. Please try to stay on the track.
I need to do that. Look at that idiot. Damn, we got 5 minutes. 2-to-1, literally 2-to-1 ratio. A very good reason it's going to be driving up, I believe. That's heavily shorted. Yeah, sending close. Hey man, everybody appreciate it on YouTube, especially helping me on the channel with a like and subscription. It is much appreciated, much love. Reason being is I used to do stocks and other stuff. I had a YouTube channel with 4,000 subscribers before, and I got perma-banned for doing that. So that's why this is my gaming channel, and I was just gonna screw it, but it started with 20 and now we're at like 70. So that's quite a big jump in just a couple of weeks, so I'm going to keep it going and hopefully vibe with it, you know. Right now we're mainly focusing on getting our essay rating back on sim racing, because it seems to be the most immersive, competitive, immersive game right now. Secondly, I do FPS shooters and other games too. Been messing with Dying Light 2 and also Ready or Not. But yeah, we're just open, man. We're open for anything. We're just, you know, vibing and seeing where this journey takes us, right? On that note, back hitting the bomb. You know. Cheers. One minute. Unbelievable. My cryptos are always like fucking bad, man. See, as if I'm gonna be awake at this time. Like that was like at 4 in the morning. Like, I'm not gonna be awake at this time to watch this shit by the line and it dumped a huge chunk. Wow. Same thing across the board, same thing. It's in the same down place right there. Right there, this is the major liquidity pool right here, and it's not going to make it, I don't think, if it keeps this channel here. We need to be looking for a strong open. If it doesn't have a strong open, it's gonna be this movement, and that's that. It'll be down to a recovery to a lower low. If it goes up off the bat, it's gonna pop up fast, and then it's gonna bounce, and then bam again like that. Which is what we need to look for, an ascending channel, not this descending channel. We need to break out of this. Even 230, but wow. Alrighty. Folks, oh, tight spot here. I think to help ease the scenario. Cheers.
Going double file.
sickos out there. Solid. 3M6 though, still solid.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
That's timing, yeah. That's timing.
Yellow flag, be careful man. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left. There's a slow car ahead. Yellow flag, be careful. Yellow flag ahead, watch out in front. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
What's this guy trying to do, man? Stay in your lane, dude. Trying to come into me? Sick bastard. Let him go. Look at this idiot. Hits me from behind. Like, who the fuck?
Car on the left.
Really retarded.
Clear on the left.
Fucking idiot. Another knocked down SA rating again. Fucking moron. Why would it give out tires? Why would you give out? Oh, weird. It gave out on the before the curb. Oops. What is going on here?
You're halfway through, keep pushing.
Not going good. Damn it, I'm looking in the rear view. Fucking
Car on
shit
the
up.
right. Clear on the right.
Oh boy. Oops.
It's a slow car. Good job. This car had a set wall. Well, nobody goes so fast as that. Warning, exiting checkpoints. Yellow flag, be careful. Slow car ahead.
Fast. Catching. We're catching up. Catching up. Fast. This is why I like this game. How competitive and immersive it is. Look at this show.
Final warning for exiting checkpoints.
This is where things get intense.
Leaders on final lap.
Babs. Oh man, we don't have much time. Babs.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Sector mode. That was sick. I give him props though, he did it good. second.
Car on the right. Even is finished right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Alright, check it flag, green jump, leave it as you could. I'll bring the car back.
Oh god. Oh dear. See if it's my fault. Yeah. Most likely. That's. That hit costed me 1 point. What the fuck? I'm tired of this shit. It's impossible, man. I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. It's just, I don't know. I wish I could. Okay. Oh. Oh. What do we have here? Yeah, look at it. Didn't change, continuing this bearish channel. What's gonna happen on open? Looks like we showed it down again. We'll see. We'll see. Tab, not. I don't even have time to fucking. What card do I have? Oh my god, that's. I need to put in my aggressive setup. Why is everyone... Something weird going on here. It's putting me in a start, but there's nobody in the race with me. I just don't get what's happening. Controls are locked. Oh my god, I'm not even in my M4. What's going on here? I think we'll have to pack a bong and figure it out later. Check out. Yeah, it's glitched.
To keep them out, and in a world gone silent, I'll be your sound. And if they try to hurt you, I'll tear them down.
Green.
Wow, enjoy that.
Drawn into the backdrop here, you could fade away. Bright lights on a starless night, better hole in the dying day. Looking at life through a loaded gun. Take your best shot, aim it at the sun. Looking at life through a loaded gun, you know you'll find yourself, you'll find yourself alone. You'll
After, bud,
find
wait.
yourself, you'll find yourself alone. You'll find yourself.
Right, man. Leader is on the final lap. Give it all you can.
You'll find yourself, you'll find yourself.
Hey man, sorry man, I'm looking at the stocks and other stuff. My bad. But whoever's on YouTube, especially there, I appreciate it. The likes, subscriptions, it's all the love and support. I appreciate it because, like I said, I'm just trying to vibe with things and just go with the flow. Trying to rebuild my gaming channel here. Since my main channel got banned with 4,000 subscribers. So, you know, we don't dwell on the past, we move on. It sucks. We always get, we always move one step forward, two steps back in life. But in retrospect to everything, I think we gotta fall down before we get it. Fall down at least twice before we get back up, And I'm gonna show that with the stream because this is the gaming channel now. I'm not going to be doing stocks no more, so it won't be about that. But we're going to show it in a different parallel way, which is through my spiritual belief, my faith, and also through which is applicable to everyday situations, and also through this channel, the gaming channel, where you guys saw, like, I hit 92 SA ratings from just a public lobby, which is a very hard feat. And now we don't care. We don't fuck with AI. We don't mess with fake shit. We're just like in gaming, real life. We're just gonna be authentic, and we're just gonna be here to vibe, have fun, and get this SA rating back, And you're gonna see the journey. I'm just like one of you guys, man. We're all in the same shoes, man. We're all made of flesh, and we all face a similar struggle. In one way or another, you know what I mean? But in light of everything, this is beyond just fighting and struggling to get up in bed and make it every day. This is deeper than that. This is a battle of principalities, man. We're in a fight of good versus evil. And evil are the 1%, these fucking Freemasons, these billionaires, these politicians, these rich people that leave a larger carbon footprint than some fucking small countries. And this is what we're talking about. The agenda, the hidden agenda, the alternate motives of the 1%, that we can't be the sheeple anymore, man. And I sure as heck gave. That's why I'm still streaming, that's why I'm doing this. If I was gonna be, I would let them fucking shut my channel down and give up. Keep my mouth shut, you know what I mean? I'd keep it shut. But I don't give a fuck. I don't do what's good for me, or what the world tells me what's good for me. I'll let God decide that for me, you know what I mean? I'll let our Creator decide that for me. But on that note, yeah, I shouldn't be smoking weed and I shouldn't be drinking, especially in this early night. But I'm just vibing, I'm vibing for a couple hours, get my mind off shit, so I don't be stressing. Because I literally have my entire future and my livelihood in the market right now, and that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
And it's ironic, one of my main plays is AMC, which is fucked up because that's the most manipulated, and to be realistic, there's just no way. There's no way they're gonna let this move. And the reason why, it's just a simple fact.
On the right. Clear on the right.
The simple fact is, are they gonna let millions of people profit at their expense? No, absolutely not. They hold majority short positions, so that is always about driving the price down in the stock. Now, when they have those short positions, you think they're gonna allow themselves to be cleaned out? No. That's why all retailers think like, oh, they're gonna get margin called. They're gonna no. And even at that, they have the liquidity to cover if they wanted to and close their positions. They have the liquidity, absolutely. And they don't even they're so greedy. They don't even like to use their own liquidity. That's why they outsource and deal with their institutional friends like Sequoia and get dirty ass shit going on behind the scenes by having them chunk out the majority of shares owned. So it's a fucking sick narrative. It's a sick narrative. I'd love to speak more on it and do charting and everything and show you where I'm not, what I'm saying is not just bullshit. But I can't, because if I do that, I'm gonna get my channel banned. And why? Because they want to silence the guys that, like me, I fucking speak the truth. And the world is controlled a lot more than we all realize. Like Twitter's controlled. Citadel owns a huge chunk of Twitter shares.
Car on the left.
They call the shots, man. And that's why Twitter is the way it is. They call the shots. What do you think? If they own Twitter, you don't think they got a foothold in YouTube also? Come on, guys. Of course they do. Of course they do. They're talking about the richest fucking market makers of what spins the money around this world. You don't think they got a fucking foothold of everything? Absolutely. 1%, man. As sick as it is, I can go on, man, because I can tie this all into religion after. That's how deep it gets. This is how deep shit gets. And all the way to the CERN. Tie it to the CERN and why the fuck is the biggest halogen particle collider has anything to do with this shit. Absolutely it does. And it's already proven. That's why it's now under wraps. The sick world we live in, folks.
There's a slow car behind.
Car is like butter.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Sorry, M6, you just don't have the same finesse. It just doesn't have the same feeling. It just proves that power is not everything. Power is not everything. It's like about folks, we're doing different things. Doing different things right now.
Brother man, this has been your CORSA bus. Yellow flag, be careful there.
Tires are warmed up.
Yellow flag in sector 3. Yellow flag ahead, be careful. Well done, mate. Personal best. Yellow flag ahead, watch out in front. Yellow flag in sector 3.
Sticker mode. Cheers. Let's put this.
The magic is corollary to a celebration.
And you do almost anything, but it doesn't mean a thing. They don't feel the same. And you're in love, and you do almost anything, but it
30 seconds.
doesn't mean a thing.
Hey, much love for all the likes, YouTube, everybody, the love, support.
20
Appreciate it.
seconds. Go in double file.
I'm streaming to YouTube also, but I mean Twitch also, but it does better here on YouTube. At least for car sim racing, that is. Coming from the bottom. One step forward,
Green light. Give it
three
a
steps
kick.
back, and then one giant leap forward. That's what we're gonna try and do here.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Really? Like, you fucking kidding? Look at this shit.
Car on the right.
I knew
Clear
it.
on the
I
right.
knew it. Like, dude.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Babs.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Seconds. Yeah.
There's a slow car behind. Yellow flag, be careful there.
This guy's driving perfect now.
There's a car leaving the pit lane, watch out. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. 3 wide. Clear on the right. All clear. Car on the right. Got some light damage on the front of
Fucker
the
keeps
car.
bumping me, man.
Clear on the right.
What a fucker. There we go. We just got lost SA rating again. This is the sickness we're talking about, folks. Like, really? Fucking sickness, man.
Traveling somewhere, could be anywhere. There's a coldness in the air, but I don't care. We drift deep,
Fucking.
and life goes on. We drift deeper into the sun.
Well, a second.
Traveling somewhere, could be anywhere. There's a coldness in the
take a measure of each, but a long 3 minutes. Things we need: code yellow and man powder. This is not a joke. Not a joke. This race is something. A sweaty crotch and a bloated bladder.
Yellow flag is sector 2. Leaders on final lap.
Jump color that man powder. Fuck off.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
I misshifted. Costing me a position. Fuck's sake. Still 74 rating. Come on, come on. Pick up. That looks.
Green light, go, go, go.
Alright, boys. We're gonna be making some food and watch the market. Hey, what's up, Chelsea?
Away from the sleep you've been sleeping for years. Been await for the day.
But
been
yeah, I'll be
awake
back.
like wolves in
I'm
the
gonna deal with the
field.
market and
And when the essence of life is coming down from above,
I don't know if you guys want to see me
lay down where
hit up
you
more sim racing
lie.
later, or
Time will lose its weight on you. Dark, dark,
FPS shooters. But let me know. You know, just let me know. But much love, everybody. I'll see you guys in a bit. I just gotta deal with this. It's still in the Bears channel. Didn't get out. Might be a bad day, man. You know, we'll see. Alright. Peace out, y'all. Much love. Oh, shit. Yo, I didn't even know you're here, brother. Jesus, Murphy. Hold on. Let me fix this all up. She's loud today. I'll turn it off. Yo, sorry, I didn't even see that, brother. Fuck, I thought it was like, because of my stupid app, man. For some reason, it doesn't show me shit, and then I only see it on OBS. But, yeah. Well, maybe I'll keep it going then. 'Cause I don't even know you're here, brother. Actually, I'd have to eat, though. I'd have to eat, though. But, I don't know. What are you gonna do? What are you up to? What the fuck? Nope. Maybe we'll get off this. I mean, I've been on racing so much lately, so. But it's weird, it's the only thing growing for my channel. Yeah? Yeah, I might do that just because I can't. I'm just gonna be drinking and, you know, smoking and shit. It's hard to do that with driving. But I just gotta see how this market does in the next 10 minutes. Hopefully it can be one of those days I just let it ride. But who knows? I might as well make some bacon and eggs. Draw my sorrows away. Yeah. But yeah, man, I found some fucked up, controversial shit, brother. So it pisses me off to see this shit, because now it makes me recite everything I have to, you know, because you know me, I'm always on the fucking hunt. Wait. Oh no, where is it? I'm always on the hunt. Where is it? Here it is. Oh my goodness gracious. It's just sickening.
Physicists detect ghost particles in the Large Hadron.
What is
Okay, it's not
Bitcoin?
this one, sorry. It's an older one. It's just fucked up. And it just proves that they've been hiding shit, you know, and there's a reason for it. This is just scary, you guys, I'm telling you. I'm not you know, I'm very, you know, logical. So for me, even to be to go back onto that faithful route is very tough, because I'm a very hardened motherfucker, right? Seen it all, so for me. And when I saw this shit, this makes sense, man. This is why they're hiding everything from us. And it's scary as fuck. It's like, that just proves there is another spiritual realm. And then now what? Now what? You know? We know the Bible ain't correct because it's influenced by man. And man are the people like that are hiding us the fucking information like this. You know what I mean? Let me roll a joint, because this is heavy. This is heavy, guys.
Scientific history by recognizing
This is heavy. Too heavy. Then I'm gonna have to roll hash, because I should smoke some weed instead of now. I'm gonna roll some hash for this one.
at least 10. That's the current
Keith,
dimensions.
warm up your vaporizer or get your rig ready, because this ain't a joke.
We can experience that. But we know there's 6 others that we can't get at directly, but we know we can infer their existence mathematically. What makes
And oh yeah, did you hear about that? Fuck, 4 guys got arrested, eh? At the truckers' protest. They planned with like ammunition and ARs and everything. 4 guys, brother. You know what I mean? And it's not just me that had thoughts of rebelling against the fucking system and the 1%ers. It's not just me. You know what I mean? And these are Canadians, brother. 4 Canadians. All ages range from 40 to 50 years old. 51, I think, or 52. And they're all armed with the fucking ARs. Run it up, man, on Google, you guys. Everybody has to run this up. And I respect these. These are our heroes. Why? Because they were ready to fucking die for us, man. For their cause that we all fucking share. Our freedom, right? Our freedom and our rights.
Apparently we're somehow tied to God's curse.
Okay, Domino, please, buddy. Don't do this now. Papa's busy.
It may have had 10
Papa's
dimensions.
busy.
For someone was fractionated.
No bacon for
Some
you.
of us tend to regard those 6 inaccessible
Shut your little
dimensions
baby.
as
You
the
give me
domain
this little fucking
of things like angels,
fucking sucker
the domain
face.
of paranormal behavior.
Well, everybody's scared of your ass. Except Papa.
So the book of Revelation opens up the future for us. So in Revelation chapter number 9 and
dear.
verse 1, the scripture says, "And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the
He's just a
bottomless
little
pit.
baby.
And he opened the bottomless
just a
pit, and
little
there arose a smoke out of the pit
Okay,
as the
but
smoke of a
seriously,
great
I don't know what's
furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they
He's
should
just
not
a little
hurt the
baby.
grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared to battle.
I don't
And
know.
on their
I
heads
don't
were as it
know
were
what to
crowns
do.
like gold.
What to believe?
And their faces were as the faces of men.
That's-
They had hair as the hair of a woman, and were teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates as it were
Okay,
breastplates of
okay,
iron.
maybe, okay.
The sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions. And
Like,
there were
how is this
stings
shit
in their
happening
tail.
at
Their
CERN,
power was to
you know what I
hurt
mean?
men 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name
I'm telling you, this shit
Apollyon.
came through CERN.
Woe,
That's
one
why.
woe is past, and behold, there come two
mhm.
woes more. Preach a message about something that is happening right now. While you're sitting in this auditorium, it's in CERN, Switzerland. Now, you may not be aware of what's going on over there, but there's a thing over there that's called a Large Hadron Collider, and it is an accelerator. It accelerates particles and then brings them to the point of collision. So this Large Hadron Collider was started up just a few days ago, and is still in the initial process of being brought
Cheers, brother.
online completely. You say, what in the world does something like that have to do with me and the Bible? It has a lot to do
I'm
with
telling you,
you
man,
and
this
the
shit,
Bible.
I verified it.
I
It's true,
cannot
man.
and will
It's
not
what freaks
attempt
me
to
out.
speak as a physicist. It would make me look like a fool. My purpose this morning is to try to be a
Cheers again.
liaison between them and you. Is to try to take what's going on in that collider and break it down to where I can understand it, and I can give it out so you can understand it, to where it makes an application to your life and to this world as we know it today. For what is happening in that collider is an astounding thing. So I want to read something to you this
Yeah,
morning
this is not a
from
joke.
what's called a theoretical physicist. This man, his name is Stephen Hawking. He's well known throughout the
And
world.
there's also, this is a
Anyone that has
weapon of
anything to
war,
do
what this
with
hydrogen
nuclear
collider is
energy or
doing
has
for us.
anything to do with physics knows this man. And he is one that some rate even on the level of Einstein and of that level. And so I want to read to you what this man has to say about what's happening right now in CERN, Switzerland. Listen carefully. These are the words of Stephen Hawking. He recently warned the reactivation in March of CERN's
Check it out.
Large Hadron Collider could pose grave dangers to our planet. The ultimate reality, check, we are warned. Hawking has come straight out and said the God particle, and this is what you've heard referred to time and again as the Higgs boson particle, the God particle found by CERN could destroy the universe.
I'll tell you how, because that one particle that the hydrogen collider can if they can trap it, is 4 times stronger than a particle used in the atomic bomb and the Hiroshima bomb. 4 times stronger, and it's derived from 1/4 of a gram. That's how sick this particle is. And on their journey, okay, this is where CERN, a lot of videos show it, but a lot of things aren't documented because they try to classify this. Along the way of finding this particle, they broke into other realms. Because not only does it defy time, they showed that by getting to this area of breaching these particles, you defy time and space. Just like how spiritual works, right? Well, guess what? While they're doing that, they found fucking demons. My other video shows, I'm not sure if it's this video actually, it might be this video. It shows actual footage from the CERN that they found as they're breaking through. And during that time, boom, it shows like demonic entities and weird shit that they couldn't explain for. Communication, things like that. I'm just saying, it's all there. And I didn't believe it, but there's too many videos that show to it. It's just, I think this is the truth, and they don't want to show it to us. And they're using CERN as a way to breach to the other dimension, and also as a war weapon. It's in this video, brother. Here, I'll link it. I think it's this video. I'm pretty sure it's this video. Yeah, it is. It's this video. Yeah, it's this video. No, I'll fast forward it.
Absolute being that is from everlasting to everlasting.
I don't wanna
who
believe
put
it,
in
but-
me what I am.
Oh, motherfucker. Yeah, it's hammering down, folks, just like I thought. Or is it? No,
Humanity's best
it
weapon.
tried. Look
Master
at these
Chief,
suckers. Look at this. Short attack. And they
The
couldn't.
Master
They
Chief
couldn't
is
hold this.
enhanced
Look at
control
this.
for one
We're gonna
purpose.
blow, man. We're gonna blow. Boom. There it is.
He and the other Spartans
There it is.
are our only effective weapons against the Covenant.
There it is, guys. Today's the day. AMC breaks it.
He's lethal,
We're gonna defy 20. Oh no.
upgradable,
Yeah.
and most importantly, controllable.
Heavy short attack. They're trying to contain
Covenant
it.
forces appear to be
Long wick at the top,
exploiting
as you
an
see.
object.
Heavy selling pressure. Not selling pressure.
When I touched the
Artificially
object, I felt
suppressing.
something.
Suppressed pressure.
Felt different.
What they did to us makes you numb.
It's fighting, and it's gonna ramp up. It's gonna ramp up. This panel's gonna close as a gap up, and then the next one's gonna follow through.
You're not sure
This is gonna be a good day today.
Hello, Master Chief.
Bro,
I'm Cortana.
that's a side, that's why I realize the whole agenda is to hide this shit. It's the, hey, Domino!
Master Chief recovered something. Sacred ring.
I didn't believe it till I just found this last night. Oh my gosh, look at the heavy suppression, folks.
Humans.
This is the devil at work. And why? Because the devil is running a rigged stock market
Cortana,
with
I'm gonna need you
unfair
now.
practices that are illegal. They're routing all the buy pressure through the dark pools. And how is this related? Because it's the 1%, the Freemasons, the devil worshippers, that are all behind the billionaires. And they all do this shit together. And that's why everything ties in together. I didn't realize that it all ties in. Everything in life is tying in spiritually. This is a battle
Whenever I
against
give
good and
zero
evil,
forks
against the
about
one
what to make for
percenters.
dinner, I'm grateful HelloFresh
And
is
the
flexible
truth is
to my
here.
lifestyle.
CERN is
You
already
can customize
onto the
everything
truth
from how many recipes, when
and
it's
hiding
delivered,
it from
and
humanity.
how often. Dinner
As I
couldn't
will
get
show
any
here
easier
again.
to figure out.
Sacramento,
Goodbye,
that's
stress.
Am today by the power of Almighty God and by the power of the new birth. But a scientist like that will never admit that, because that takes
See?
it out of his control and his power. He's got
See?
to be able to. He's got to be able to demonstrate his theory and put
Exactly.
it into motion. But anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to leave this with you. I want you to think about what I'm saying.
Absolutely, that's why this is
Stephen
not a
Hawking,
hoax. It's not a
A
controversy.
theoretical physicist.
Look at the I'm gonna show you the pictures. This is the video I think has it.
You are. You can never put it under a microscope, but it's real. Who sealed you until
There it
this
is.
antimatter? Strange things happened.
There it is.
They took some of it and they put it in a college. They won't
This is
name the
documented.
college, and for reasons I understand. And the college had the facilities to contain it.
Is it?
Antimatter has to be contained.
Dark matter,
So they put it in
antimatter.
the college
Look at that.
to contain it. Strange things started happening at the college. People started hallucinating, having visions.
Yep.
People were going wild. All kinds of crazy stuff was happening. Apparitions. In plain words, there's a connection between this stuff and the spirit world. Now I want you to think for a minute. Don't get ahead of me, just think. The Bible said, he that letteth will let until he be taken out of the
Only
way.
an open mind can
2
understand.
Thessalonians chapter number 2.
Because we're conditioned.
God
We're all
Almighty
conditioned.
is going to let
Who do you
them
think
go so
conditions
far,
us? The media, the
but he's not
world,
going
our
further.
parents. They're learning.
The
And where do you
spirit
think
world,
all of our
folks,
learning
is
is from?
not affected
Schools,
by the physical.
media, the outside world. And who do you think influences the outside
Demons,
world?
all this
That's
other
the
stuff
problem here.
Probably couldn't care less.
The
whether
one
you've got
percenters.
matter or
The
antimatter.
same ones
It's a
controlling the
spirit
stock
being.
market. The same ones controlling the government.
To fit into the great
The
deception.
same ones behind the corona
It's
narrative.
coming, and it's coming, and it's about here right now. I mean, a deception like this world has never known before.
I'm fucking
To
serious,
fit
man.
into this great deception.
I never
They
figured
can
it out till
sure
now.
draw these men in to make them think that because they have reached
Everything
a
ties in.
certain point in their scientific analysis.
Remember we're talking about the
that they're
controversy
bringing
of
these-
that video I showed you about the HIV thing in the vaccines? Well, guess what? I was like, maybe it's a big hoax, but why suddenly now there's new vaccines and antidotes for AIDS virus? Did you not see that? Look Google it. There's new cures for AIDS virus suddenly. Just check it out. Why is this timed with this controversy? Why is everything piecing together now? Yeah, they're trying to shut me down, bro. They don't want the truth. They don't want the truth. I'm on new internet. It should not freeze. It should not freeze. They're attacking me. Although they're not here. Maybe they're attacking you. I don't know, brother. Seriously, it's not me though. I have good internet right now. Folks, they're trying to stop the truth.
Spirit beings.
I'm telling you, this is the truth coming up. Oh my! And look at the sickness, folks. The sickness. Look, from attacking. Look, suppression can't hold the truth down, folks. I gotta. Oh, I know it is, brother. I'm not kidding you. Is that how you spell it? I don't even know. I'm telling you, I see it already. Folks, I'm telling you. Things. I don't even think it's spelled correctly, but it's the facts.
Out of them.
Home.
NASA
Folks.
said just a few days ago. NASA. They said just a few days ago.
Look.
That by the year 2020, that we will definitely come in contact with aliens.
No.
Beings from another planet.
That didn't happen.
Now we're talking about scientists. We're talking about Darwin's crowd. We're talking about the crowd that threw the Bible out and said it's old, archaic, anachronistic. It doesn't belong today. We're talking about that bunch. We're too smart for the Bible. We're scientists. Yet
But
this
Corona
crowd
came out.
is saying that in just a few years that they're going to know that that they're going to come in contact with alien beings. I thought to myself, my. You boys, have you always known that you've got a certain date set?
Folks, this is so heavy, I might have to roll another joint.
Really a
This is too deep. It's too deep. Folks.
There are no aliens out there, folks. Forget
And
that stuff,
AMC
okay?
wants to break
There's
out. I'm
nothing
telling you,
out
there's
there.
weird ass shit
You get
going
into
on
the
today.
third heaven, you get into the
Today
abode
is
of
the
God.
day.
There's nothing up there. All these UFOs, spacecraft, flying saucers, all this stuff.
It's still
that's
on
all
the wedge.
demonic.
This
real, but it's
power
demonic.
wedge, I call it.
It's
Because
not
this
real
power
like
wedge
we
is going to
understand
drive it
reality,
straight to
but it's
20
really real.
and breach it,
It's
which
demonic.
is the necessary
I see a great deception beginning to
area
develop.
where it needs to breach.
That in their
And
analysis
you can
and
see
in their laboratories
they have a
that
ceiling
they believe
over
in,
here,
that they've got their heart and soul
right at
tied
20.
up in. Little things begin to show up, stuff that they can't explain. That
A lot of
sucks
weird
them
things
in
happen,
to begin
man.
to understand. Well, maybe this is being affected. It's being acted upon by something that we don't understand completely. And this spirit being that comes from out there, that comes down to this world, they accept with open arms because they're willing to put Shiva out there dancing around in the cosmos and destroying and then bringing a new creation in. Here are these wise, smart, brilliant men. And they're willing to believe that there's something more than what can be measured in a microscope and can be put in a petri dish. That there's something going on, and you better believe there is.
Look at it. Here's the pictures.
There's something going on.
See that?
Now, in the spirit world that I just preached to you about.
Wait, there's the one where I
see that.
signed. I don't know where I'm
What
going to
about
find
the
it.
physical world? Let's go back to Hawking for a minute.
I'm going to find it.
He said, remember, he's an atheist.
Here we
He
go.
doesn't believe in spirits.
Here we go. You're just a little
He's a
fucking baby.
dialectical materialist.
I'm gonna scratch your bum. You like
He's a
that, eh?
Bolshevik.
You like your scratchy fucking bum.
He believes that what they're liable to do here in Cern, Switzerland,
Papa was very treated
is
this morning.
unleash the
There's
gates
other
of
dogs
hell
here with Pitbull in
on
there,
this
and
earth.
Papa didn't
The
want
reason I
to
took you to
walk you near
Revelation
them in case a fight
is
happens.
because in the 9th chapter of Revelation, what you just read
Yeah.
is the gate of hell.
Hey.
Revelation chapter number 4 is the door to heaven. When he catches up his saints to meet him in the clouds, we're going through the door into heaven.
Hey.
But he will open the gate of hell on this earth. And according to Revelation chapter number 9, these beings are coming up out of the earth. If you remember when Saul went to the witch of Endor, she said, I saw, oh man, I saw a spirit coming out of the earth.
Jeez, what's wrong with you?
What she see? She saw demons.
No control.
Until
No.
God brought
Stop it.
Samuel back himself personally, the real Samuel, who appeared before Saul and the witch of Endor. What would be a greater ruse
I'm gonna relax.
than to use their science and their technology to suck them in?
Have you always been interested in the e-commerce market?
What? They're trying to hide me. From showing this video. Is this the one?
Thousands of percent
Fuck's sake,
since
it
their
has to
initial
be the one.
IPO, and maybe you're looking for that next hot growth opportunity.
Domino.
One
Come
stock you
on.
should look at today is Logis.
It's not the time to do this
To
shit.
accepting some spirit being coming from somewhere
See,
up here, some
ceiling
alien,
is in place.
down to
$20
this
mark.
earth, and
Let's
do
see
it
it. It's
through
gonna
a
bounce and
collider
it'll come
over
back.
here. This is as high technology as
You gotta sit down. Sit
Through
down.
that and bring it down upon this earth and bring it into people. Now, here's one of the things about this. This antimatter
You
is
shush
also
your little baby.
called dark matter.
See, there it is.
And dark matter has energy attached to it. And the energy affects people.
Yeah, it has to.
It affects them. And remember, when you produce antimatter, you got to contain it. Because if you don't contain it, you got to contain it. That's the biggest problem, containing it. Because if you don't contain it, it just goes wild. And they don't know what it's liable to do. Now, folks, go check me out. Go check me out. I want you to. Go check me out this afternoon and see what it says about antimatter. And it'll say, yes, you better contain it.
Don't do that.
Because you don't know what it's liable to do. But they do know this. From what they've experienced so far, it has an effect on people. Dark matter has an effect on people. It causes some people to go screaming mad.
See?
It controls people.
That's right, man.
It is an enormously powerful thing.
That's why it's used
It's
in
pulling
weapons, I
something
believe.
out of hell that you don't want any part to do with, and turning it loose on mankind. Now, I don't know that I don't ever been in agreement with an atheist before, but I'm in agreement with this one. I and Mr. Hawking see it the same way. They better leave that stuff alone. The only way the only crowds you have in
See,
this
listen,
country
look at
today
this
are the
sickness.
crowds
Look
that
at
are
this
pumped up
sickness.
by rock and rap, and it's all
This is
about
CERN, by the way.
self-love
Okay, guys?
and positive
What the
attitudes
fuck
and,
is this shit? Why are they
money
doing
and
this?
me, myself, and I.
These sickos.
I'm in
Look at
love
them.
with me, I'm in love with myself, and I'm in
Look
love
at
with
this.
I.
The satanic
wife says,
opening
"I know you
ritual.
are,
Like,
that's
what
why
the
I'm leaving."
fuck is this, guys?
That's the
You're
truth.
talking about the smartest people in the world. No, this is part of the ritual, though. This is it. There is a video of the.
write a book
Well, I
about
can't find
15
it
ways
where
to
it
love
is, though.
yourself and
I
sell
think
like
it's
you
here.
believe.
I don't have it. I'll look for it.
Absolutely.
It
That's
shows
all it is. It's a joke.
the
Just a big joke.
demonic
You know
images
that.
that come through and
Just
shit
a
that they
big joke.
captured.
All right.
And by the way, they did publish the findings
got
and
the
then they
people
suppressed it.
To the point to where they
was
can
publicized.
be moved emotionally,
And then it was withdrawn.
not intellectually.
Look
but
at this.
emotionally.
Why is this part of a ritual?
Anything stirs
How does that
them.
make sense?
They
Think
got
about it.
crowd mentality.
If think about this ritual. Why the fuck is it a satanic ritual, first of all? Let's ask yourselves this. These are the smartest fucking scientists in the world, right? Yeah, but you gotta look at this. CERN, the whole point of CERN, right? It's all this particle breakdown into other time, space, travel, whatever the fuck, and deeper, dark matter. But my point is, maybe they're the first ones to discover the portal to another dimension. Maybe they're the first ones to breach into the spiritual realm. Do you get what I'm saying? because why are they going to make an opening ritual of what they represent, right? Why would they make it like this? Doesn't make sense. When they make it, then if it's about religion, when they make it about angels and all pretty shit, like what the fuck? Think about it. But instead, their fucking ritual or their opening for CERN, which is like compromised of the smartest men in the world, people in the world, scientists, 150 IQ to 200. Like, come on, yo. And you're telling me this is what they want in their ceremony?
They got mob mentality.
Think about it. I believe the message is clear.
Can you imagine something
And you have to think with an open mind and why things are the way they are.
made apparitions appear? That
See?
you've got scientists
One
who
eye.
don't
Look at
know
this. There it is.
What you're going to unleash? Maybe there's a
Are we
greater
going to be the
purpose in all
sheeple?
of that they're not even aware of. He's called Satan. Maybe he
Well, it
intends
is
to
in the
bring
end because,
chaos on this
see,
earth.
if it's about that dark particle opening up dimensions, then demons and entities and that spiritual realm proves real. That means there is a demonic world. That means there's also a spiritual heaven world. As long as there's good, there's bad too. So that proves that whole God theory is correct. You know what I mean? That just fucks everything up by this shit. Because I didn't, like, ghosts don't exist, I thought. UFOs don't exist. But now we're showing here. I know that this is CERN though, but it's just a ceremony. I'm going to show the actual images. I don't know if it's in this video. That's why I'm trying to... Fuck. I hope it's this one. But, yeah, let me see this. This is pissing me off. Because this... I remember seeing it and I was like, what the fuck? How did they get those images? And they said those images were withdrawn. Because...
My message is entitled, When the End Comes to Him. It's called the rapture of the church. The lostness, the feeling of that.
No, that's not it. What the fuck?
They want to know what
Okay.
the man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die. When he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared to battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces.
Was it? I saw one. Which? It smells like. You do a farty fart? Did you do it? Oh boy. Let me see. Folks. I don't know if it's this one. Oh dear. Folks.
Collider for the very first. We are all part of the same universe. Exploring the world beyond our homes on Earth can seem impossible to comprehend or limited. The subdetector used, but the last observed event being 400 years ago. Tropes are all good fun. The magical nature.
Folks.
Faces were as the faces of men. They had hair
here
as
it
the
is.
hair of a woman, and with teeth were torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
Let's see where it
And
is.
the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared to battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold.
I mean, where?
And their faces were as the faces of men. They had hair as the hair of a woman.
Yeah, and supposedly, wait, they do have it. Like, supposedly have a machine to contain it now. That's possible, but there's the video that I want. This is not. I don't know if it's related to that video. That's why I'm trying to find it. It actually showed images of what they saw. And that's critical. And these are images that they said they had to retract because they officially. Yeah, that's what I need. You know what I mean? Those are more specific because you're gonna see it. It's clear. I was like, what the fuck? It is a demonic face or human-like type of face. Like, what the fuck?
Woman.
And that shit, you're not going to get it out of a particle, you know what I mean? Until you break into other realms.
And with teeth was the teeth of lions.
But this is what I have
And they
to...
had
Yeah, that's
breastplates,
why...
as it were breastplates of iron. The sound of
It's
their
what
wings
they're
was
trying
as
to
the
cover
sound
up.
of
And let me see
chariots
if
of
it's, I
many
can
horses
find
running to
it.
battle.
I wish I can find
And
it.
they had tails
So
like unto
significant.
scorpions. And there were stings in their tail. Their power was to hurt men 5 months. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Could be here.
Woe, one woe is past,
I don't know, right.
and behold, there come 2 woes more. I preach you a message about something that is happening right now while you're sitting in this auditorium. It's in Cern, Switzerland. Now, you may not be aware of what's going on over there, but there's a thing over there that's called a Large Hadron Collider. And it is an accelerator. It accelerates particles and then brings them to the point of collision. So this Large Hadron Collider was started up to create what they believe happened that brought all of this into existence. As
Learn math and science on
Folks, come on, man.
Brilliant is the best place to learn interactively.
As being the Big Bang.
That's it. I'm going to have to make fucking bacon and eggs and craft cheese, okay? I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
And the earth. He spoke it into existence. They are finding things, and this is what's important for us to understand today. They are discovering things that...
Here it is. Do you not see this face? This is through the halogen collider, bro. See, pictures from CERN. Why would they have a picture of this fucking head that comes through in CERN? Seriously. It looks like an old fucking like not a demon, let's say, an old like Roman warrior or something. Fuck. Who knows?
They are discovering things that they did not expect to discover as they get deeper. And
another face. Look at that. 2 eyes, nose, mouth, right there, clearly, right in here. Like, what is this shit?
And deeper into this experimentation and development and research and so forth.
Sick.
They are beginning to find out that there is a whole lot more to the creation than they had ever given thought to before. They're beginning to find out that there's something going on here that
sickness.
Boggles the human mind.
Sickness.
That literally blows us apart when we try to even comprehend what's happening. This 17-mile long underground tube that is located there in Switzerland has, I think, 4 or 5 different points where they collide with, some say, protons and maybe something else, but particles that are being moved at or above the speed of light inside this collider. Now, for your information, there is one near us in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, but it is not nearly as large as what we're dealing with here. And apparently, the larger the collider, the more speed that they can attain, and the more they're able to get deeper into what they're looking for. They're looking for the very building blocks of what brought all of this together. To give you an analogy, let's say you have a house.
Yeah.
You observe that house, it's beautiful. You think, my goodness, let's see how this is put together.
I know
And
what
so
I'm
you
gonna
start
do.
taking the
I'm gonna
house
heat up some
apart and you
food and I'm
expect to
gonna
find
fucking roll a
nails.
joint.
But
And
instead,
we're gonna break
you
this
find
down,
glue.
dude. 'Cause
That fascinates you that much more.
See?
Because you find glue holding this house together.
Look at-
You wonder to yourself, what was this glue like before
yeah.
its hardened state? Because you
What
see,
is
once
it?
the glue glues the things together, it hardens, solidifies. They want to know what the glue is like in its liquid state. So they're going through this to go back to that point to where they can separate and find out what this was like then. And by doing that, of course, they can build on the information and knowledge that they attain. Now, what's going to follow in the message this morning is the implications of what's going on. But let me give you just a little bit of what has been happening. Where they have done this experimentation, strange things are happening.
Yeah.
Unexpected
What?
by the scientists.
See?
Paranormal.
There we
phenomena,
go.
They like to call it. Apparitions.
Dang.
Ghosts. All
Boom,
kinds
boom,
of
boom.
demonic
Boom.
spirits are beginning to manifest themselves.
What the
in
fuck
ways.
is this mean?
Here we have
What the fuck
in
is
Cern,
this mean?
Switzerland, a huge wheel. Inside that wheel is a Hindu god, and his name is Shiva. He does a dance of destruction inside that wheel, and his purpose is he is one of the triad gods, one of the greatest gods of Hinduism. Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma. Brahma is the god of creation. Vishnu is the god of preservation, but Shiva is the god of destruction. The way the Hindu sees it is that when Shiva destroys, it's not for the purpose of annihilation. He destroys so that Brahma can come and recreate. So now when the Hindus, since they're scientists to CERN, they put this out there in front, and so what these people are doing with the collider is destroying what comes together, but for the purpose of recreating and find out what brought it into existence to begin with. Are you following me? Now here we have men that are scientists on an average of an IQ of anywhere from 160 to 200 or even above.
There we go, folks.
These are some of the smartest brains in all the world. No question about it whatsoever.
Folks.
I pick up physicists and try to read some of this stuff. I think, good night. Forget me. That's for a brain that is wired that way. No question. But we were told when Darwin's theory of evolution came out and became vogue, that it would destroy the foundations of Christianity, and this old book that we hold in our hands, this old outdated Bible, would no longer be relevant, and a lot of people bought into it. Because after all, Darwin is scientific. But it's an amazing thing now that 150 years later, we have some of the greatest scientists in the world that are becoming very religious. Because here they've got Shiva, they've got dances to Shiva, and they are definitely being connected with Shiva as they're finding things. Let me give you one example. In one of their collisions, when they collided these particles together, they saw things.
There it is.
They were apparitions they didn't expect to see. They didn't fit in any model. They didn't fit anywhere. They don't belong. But they could not deny the reality of it. Something was going on inside there.
What is
they
this?
could not explain. And it was scary for them. For the scientist has his paper and his pencil and his books.
It's scary.
And if it doesn't fit in his paper and his pencil and his books, it's out the window. They don't understand. They have a hard time accepting the fact that there is a spirit world out there. That spirit world was created by a spirit being. An almighty, eternal, absolute being that is from everlasting to everlasting, who put in me what I am today by the power of Almighty God and by the power of the new birth. But a scientist like that will never admit that, because that takes it out of his control and his power. He's got to be able to demonstrate his theory and put it into motion. But anyway, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to leave this with you. I want you to think about what I'm saying. Stephen Hawking, and a theoretical physicist, has warned these people, you are about to open Pandora's box. And once you open Pandora's box, you cannot put back in what came out of that box. Now let's talk about some of the stuff that's going on. I think I'm trying to lay a foundation to get you to understand what we're dealing with.
Yeah, I got it roll though.
So the house, you take it apart and you see the
This is
glue
so deep.
and you find it in its hardened state.
I don't get it.
And then you want to find out, what can I do to bring this back to its original state? And then what can I learn from that?
This shit is, I can't.
So you've got to be able to take it back. You've got to be able to go
and
back.
I'm a hardened motherfucker.
You've got to move through
I don't,
time.
I don't
That's
want to
what
believe.
you're doing. You're moving through time.
I don't want to believe.
This is what it's about. They want to know what that matter was like before it came into its present form.
I can't deny it.
They must determine what holds it together.
It's just that the Bible
They
can't
must
be used as
break
reference.
down the element and see what holds
So
it
until
together.
I find my own personal
Folks, if
truth,
you know your Bible,
at least we
you
know,
know what's
this
holding it
exists.
together.
That's the whole point. We know it exists.
This is a big deal to these people. What's holding this together? The Bible says all things are upholded by the word of his power. A word is a spiritual thing. You can never put it under a microscope, but it's real. Who sealed you until the day of redemption? The Holy Ghost. Who put life inside your soul, where your heart is set on fire when you read his word?
The problem
and pray?
is with the Bible,
the
there
Holy
is truth
Ghost.
to it too, but
who in this house
too
would deny
diluted
this
with
morning
man's
the reality of a spirit being that
influence on
saved
it.
you and wrote your name in the Lamb's Book of Life and
that's the
indwells
problem.
you right now?
So we don't
They
know
wanna
what the truth is.
They want to find out. CERN allows
Hey, cool,
them to examine particles in their
Cheers,
initial
though,
state,
if you're not back yet. I'm with
not after it's bonded together. So what has come from CERN? Now listen carefully to what I'm going to say to you. This is not exhaustive, but this is what I've gotten so far. What has come out of this? They have a list of their accomplishments, their achievements, and all of that. That's all well and good. But one thing for certain is what's called antimatter. How many's ever heard of antimatter? Antimatter. Now, if you'd asked me 2 weeks ago what antimatter was, I'd have said, well, it's matter, it's against matter. Didn't have a clue. I wouldn't know where to start, where to end, where I was if I got there. Let me tell you what antimatter, some of the characteristics of it. There are those that believe that for everything in the universe that is matter, that there is a corresponding antimatter. Corresponding. That there's a connection between the two. That matter, for example, take a piece of wood.
Don't tell
it's
me
matter.
this fucking
This is
little
matter.
shit.
This is matter.
You ate all my
matter.
rollies.
Matter. It's something physical, or it's something real. All right.
Really did.
If you act upon
Fuck,
it,
man.
act upon that matter, it can
What kind of
burn
dog does
wood,
this
for
shit?
example. You've acted upon it, but you've had to act upon it.
Fucking
You had
dummy.
to do something to cause the wood to
You're
burn.
so stupid, Domino.
Antimatter, on the other hand,
Fuck.
is a very unstable
What
thing
an idiot.
that does not need to be acted
You just
on.
took a whole pack of
Unless you
He just
do
ate the whole
something to
fucking pack
contain
of
it,
papers.
it's going to burn.
Domino,
It's
shitter.
very volatile.
What's wrong
and
with
it is
you, man?
Very, very,
That's
very
bad.
uncertain as
Fuck.
to what all it's capable of doing.
Oh my
Antimatter is a
goodness
product
gracious.
of this experimentation
Sick.
in CERN, Switzerland.
You're naughty to bite the
Antimatter
paper.
is coming from it.
Fucking dummy.
Antimatter is so powerful that one man says that 1 grain,
There it
one
is.
grain of antimatter
Folks.
is the equivalent of 4 atomic bombs
There it is.
that were dropped on Hiroshima.
There it is.
I got on the internet and did a little research, and I found out they call it Little Boy, the first bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima. Then later on, the one on Nagasaki.
There it is, folks.
I thought, what was in that bomb? What exploded? You know, we understand nuclear fission and all these other big terms. We understand some kind of a nuclear reaction took place. Everybody knows that, right? Some kind of a
Unbelievable,
nuclear
Domino.
reaction
You
took
just
place.
ate all my rolling paper.
But then I got
You're
to digging a
sick,
little
that
deeper, and I
little
said,
bastard.
now, what was in there?
I don't understand.
And from what I can find out, it was no more than from 9 to 13 grams of something
There it is.
inside their matter that exploded.
Yeah.
And so I have to understand their scale. What are you talking about? You talking about a handful?
I didn't want to
It
believe
doesn't sound like much to me, does it? In other
Better
words, the
believe it.
bomb that exploded at Hiroshima, when they split the atom, when they released the energy from the atom by the
Wait,
process
sorry.
they used,
It all makes
are
sense
you
now,
telling
guys.
me that there was no more there than what would be
The
a
COVID
handful?
controversy.
I'm not
This.
saying I understand
Everything
all
ties in together, man.
but I want you to think about
We're
it
all
for a
being
minute.
fooled, media driven, controlled. Oh my gosh.
Let me please introduce our distinguished.
If no more than a handful of this material, this matter, that's what you'll get if you look on Wikipedia and somebody's research, it'll say matter. It'll say 8 to 13 grams of matter was used to explode and release energy and heat. And I would imagine, I don't know their scale, I don't know. In other words, is their gram the same as a gram of peanuts, a grain of peanuts or something, or is it a different scale? I don't know. But it wouldn't seem to me to be a whole lot to begin with. So if that did that, 1 grain of antimatter is the equivalent of 4 of them. How much is 1 grain of antimatter? They say it takes a long time to produce a single pound of antimatter. But now, because of their technology and what they're doing at CERN, Switzerland, that they can produce this stuff much quicker, and they're beginning to produce antimatter. When they produce antimatter, strange things happen. They took some of it and they put it in a college. They won't name the college, and for reasons I understand. And the college had the facilities to contain it. Antimatter has to be contained. So they put it in a college to contain it.
That was it.
Strange things started happening at the college. People started hallucinating, having visions. People were going wild. All kinds of crazy stuff was happening. Apparitions. In plain words, there's a connection between this stuff and the spirit world. Now I want you to think for a minute. Don't get ahead of me, just think. The Bible said, he that letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. 2 Thessalonians chapter number 2. God Almighty is going to let them go so far, but he's not going to go any further. The spirit world, folks, is not affected by the physical. Demons, all this other stuff, probably couldn't care less whether you've got matter or antimatter. It's a spirit being. But to fit into the great deception that's coming, and it's about here right now. I mean, a deception like this world has never known before. To fit into this great deception, they can sure draw these men in to make them think that because they have reached this certain point in their scientific analysis, that they're bringing in these spirit beings. It'll make true believers out of them, but it'll do more than make true believers out of them. NASA said just a few days ago, they said just a few days ago, that by the year 2020, that we will definitely come in contact with aliens, beings from another planet.
That didn't turn out.
Now we're talking about science, but it's demonic. It's not real like we understand reality, but it's really real.
Okay, let's see. Certain scientists, bam, bam, bam.
Even with the simplest and most basic of laws of physics, we can think about a nearly infinite variety of possibilities. This is the circumstance we see ourselves in particle physics and in cosmology and in string theory, things like that today, where the possibilities are nearly endless. And our goal is to figure out the one or the ones that accurately reflect our own universe. And it just so happens that because there are so many other varieties, our creativity, our imagination is unlimited as well. So the things that we create that go into the movies, that go into stories, that go into comic books, we can use the basis of the possibilities that are laid out by the laws of physics to think of things that are beyond the laws of physics.
Oh, really?
And even give them a little veneer of authenticity, which always makes a story a little bit more fun if you can say it might be true.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great time. It's a great time to be a sci-fi writer.
Little baby.
But sometimes we go a little, sometimes the imagination has gone a little
Yeah.
bit too far.
Rejected
and
again. You
in
see
terms
that
of the
ceiling I
Higgs
put
boson,
there?
which has the
It's
unfortunate
gonna
and
be
inflammatory
staying
nickname
true
of the
to
God
form,
particle,
as
which
we
I
see
now
here.
understand why, because it's as you pass through the Higgs.
Unless their short
you come
capabilities
into
run out of
existence.
steam,
So
but
I understand the
that's
nickname now,
not gonna be.
but it is still an unfortunate
Heavy
nickname,
shorting,
and some
ladder
of the hype
attacks,
surrounding
same
the first
angle
use of the
attack.
Large
Watch,
Hadron Collider
it's gonna
included
decline
the
the
fear that
same
the
way.
discovery of the Higgs
Same
would
way.
lead to a spontaneous black hole opening up and consuming CERN, Switzerland, and then the whole
And
universe,
this will
which
be the same.
did not happen.
No, it didn't.
But now, given the increasing weirdness of the world, some are suggesting that the LHC knocked us into an alternate universe that is strange to us.
See? Same
which
angle.
is a way better story than confronting the unsettling
But does it
effects
find a
of
bottom
worldwide
before?
income inequality and climate
Apparently,
change.
maybe.
So, Charles, as a scientist and a communicator, do you have any thoughts or tips on sorting out real cause and effect relationships from just a story?
Well, you know, isn't that at the core of all science education, right? We have to convince people to use their tools of cognition and intuition in a way that leads them toward reality and truth and what to do about it, as opposed to some fantasy or alternative environment that we'd like to be in, right? It is hard. It's worth the effort, but it can be very challenging. It's very comforting to just sort of sit in the reality that somebody else has told you, like, oh yeah, that's cool. But how does it affect your daily life, right? So one of the tips that I would say is look at as many sources as you can. And what will happen, for example, let's say there's one interesting scientific result or some result that's announced in the universe. You're like, oh, I'm going to go and find 10 different people who have written about it, whether it's, you know, this media outlet or that blog, or actually read the paper itself. So the person who made the discovery is telling the story, and compare all of those things. Come up with the thing that seems to or likeliness, right? Something that's actually real and believable based on the knowledge that you have. That's sort of the first thing that I would do, and actually evaluate, right? So one of the things that's really important is that you find as many sources as possible to look at. Don't just listen to one authority. If I say something cool, and in the next half hour you think back to this episode, if half an hour from now you think back to the show and you think, you know, that sounded weird to me, maybe it was wrong, go and find out. Look up 10 different sources. It could be from the news, it could be from reading the paper itself, it could be reading a book, and see if all those things made sense, or if indeed I had made a mistake, which is very possible, right? Another thing that's very important for us to keep in mind as we're trying to separate real from unreal is to recognize that we are fallible, that we have the humility to be wrong, and say, I thought this was the case, but now I see new evidence, whether it's from my laboratory or from other people telling me stuff, or you know, my own observations, and I realize that I was wrong. In science, we give credit to people who were wrong too. Edwin Hubble, for example, who discovered the expansion rate of the universe, he got the rate way wrong, but we still call it the Hubble law, or the Hubble-Lemaitre law.
Okay, that's just... I'm trying to look for something, you know, up to date.
Growing up in a little red house.
I don't know, man. It's like it's been silenced ever since. thing is, like, you're telling me in 10 years, which we're not getting new discoveries. Of course we are. I believe it's just being held back. Billions of dollars in this. Just a little baby.
Not so long ago, we actually established circulating beam. So this is already really good. I mean, circulating beam in the sense of that the beam is actually making a few turns in the SPS. So it took a while because we had an issue in the transfer from the pier, so our pre-injector, I'm pointing that direction because there are colleagues in the piers, they're working on that side. So we didn't actually manage it through one of the magnets that is bending the beam off from what is called TT2 transfer line into the SPS injection line, which is called TT10. For whatever reason, it is new, was refurbished. It didn't have the right calibration. So this was sorted out, took the entire morning, if you want, and only actually after lunch we scanned much further than we would normally do. So we changed essentially the strength of this magnet by more than 50% in the end, I think. Yeah, then we made it all the way to just the SPS, the injection equipment.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, making another run. Nope. Rejected hard after that last run, and now it's even more. Look at that. Oh my god. Complete. Triple destruction. First attempt here, second attempt here, third attempt went through, and then heavy rejection.
Welcome to you all.
Hopefully it holds in this channel, because if it can hold, we are very
This is even better than Star Wars. This is real life. Look at it.
somehow break back into this
This
channel.
is the next generation of amplifiers, RF amplifiers you have here. With
Oh
solid
man,
state
this is very.
technology. This is really fantastic and
See, why is it not like only it was big when like 10 years ago when they discovered that dark matter shit, and then suddenly it got silenced. It's like no discovery since. So you know it's weird. Wait, it's CERN. Oh man, I don't know.
Scientists are testing to see if we are living in a simulation. Elon Musk is even funding work in this field, and he believes that there is a 1 in billions of a chance that we live in reality, but we are in a simulation. This video breaks down the science and math behind the simulation hypothesis. We also take a look at how much computer power is needed to simulate a universe. Would we need to build a structure around the sun to capture all of its energy to power such a computer? Is humanity being simulated as 2D beings to save on computer power that then gets projected?
If it ain't
in
about
3D?
religion, and then
And
what?
could we create
Is this
a
all
simulation for
simulation?
humanity
Or
that allows us
where
to
we're
travel
created to
further
think
into
it's
outer space?
about a religion,
If you
right?
think that
Imagine it's like
simulations are
that deep.
possible, then it is almost certain that we are
gosh.
in one.
You know what I mean? Imagine. This is when it gets all scary. Because imagine we're all programmed to believe in a religion and
People
how
have been questioning
or
for
be this
centuries what is the truth and
But in
what is
reality,
an
we're in a
illusion.
simulation.
From Plato's allegory of the cave in the Western world to Zhuangzhu's butterfly dream in the East. Plato, who lived between
Well, that's why I'm
428
gonna have
and
to smoke
348
a
BC,
joint
tells the
to
tale of
understand the
people
clarity
kept in
on
a
this.
cave. They grow
Open up
only
that
seeing
mind,
the
you know
shadows
what I
of
mean?
other people on a wall. For them, the shadows are the real world. One day, one of the cave people is taken outside. He sees how the outside world is much more real than the one in the cave.
Oh shit, I
He
got
comes
some
back to the cave to free the others, but is now
This,
unable
like,
to see in the dark.
chow mein
The
frozen
people
dinner
inside the
thing
cave
I've
think
been
it is
eating.
dangerous outside and refuse to
Actually
go.
not bad.
The cave represents people who believe that knowledge comes from what we see and hear in the world. Plato said that true knowledge comes
Plato?
from philosophical reasoning.
Oh, Plato.
Zhuangzhu, a Chinese philosopher who lived in the 4th century BC, dreamed that he was a butterfly. The butterfly did not know he was Zhuangzhu. Suddenly, he woke up and he was Zhuangzhu. But how can he be sure he is not a butterfly dreaming that he is a person? As both dreaming and waking feel real, how can we tell which one is true? Moving forward to 1977, Philip Kindred, who created the stories for Blade Runner and Minority Report, argued that we are
That
living
story
in a
is just
computer-programmed reality, and the
self-defeating
only clues we have
prophecy.
to it is when some variable is changed and some alteration in reality occurs, such as when we have an overwhelming impression that we are living in the present, like déjà vu. Elon Musk is another person who questions our reality, using the development of video games as an example of why we are living in a simulation. Elon says that we are clearly on a trajectory to soon have video games that are indistinguishable from reality, and those games will be played on any console or PC,
ASSETTO,
and there
CORSA.
will probably be billions of such computers. Elon Musk wonders what the levels above us look like. saying that the simulation is probably running in a boring world, since when you take a video game or a movie, it is a condensed version of what is most interesting about life. Most likely, if we are in a simulation, it's very boring outside of the simulation. And the further down the number of simulations you go, the more interesting it becomes. So what is the likelihood that we are living in a simulation? Let's take a look at the science and math behind the theories. Working at the University of Oxford on existential risk, Dr. Nick Bostrom, whose work is helped funded by Elon Musk, created the foundational theory of the simulation argument. He presents 3 scenarios. 1. The human species will go extinct before creating a simulation of another universe. 2. Advanced civilizations that are capable of creating simulations are not interested in creating simulations of their evolutionary history or a variation of it. 3. The probability that we are living in a simulation is close to 1, as we are almost certainly living in a simulation. Dr. Bostrom says that since little is known, we must assume for now that each one has an equal likelihood. The book Superintelligence, Paths, Dangers, and Strategies by Dr. Nick Bostrom is one that Elon Musk highly recommends people to read. The link is in the description. If we are able to create a simulation, then the chances that we are in one greatly increases. Let's explore why. When would it be possible for us to create a simulation? To figure this out, we just need to take a look at video games and predict how soon in the future we could be playing and living in virtual worlds that people can't tell the difference from the real one. Elon Musk says that we have gone from playing Pong, GTA 2 blocks and a dot, to today's hyper-realistic games with millions of players, and all of this took place in just the last 50 years. He adds that even if the rate of video game advancement drops by 1,000 from what it is today, then imagine it is 10,000 years in the future when we will have simulations, which is nothing on the evolutionary scale. But humanity will reach a point sooner than that, when the growth of technology becomes uncontrollable, and then human civilization will change in ways that we cannot predict. We will be able to create powerful video game simulations that even the artificial intelligence living within them will feel like the simulation is their reality. And the artificial intelligence would also create games and virtual worlds, designing multiple layers of simulations. There could be hundreds, thousands, or a million simulated universes. And if only one of the million universes is the real world, the base reality, then the probability that we are in the base reality is 1 in a million. So if we as humans are able to create a simulation, then the likelihood that we are in one increases. Elon Musk says that the odds that we are in the base reality is more like 1 in billions.
Watch this short presentation until the end for details on how to get started in less than 7 minutes from now.
Dr. David Kipping, an astronomer, has broken it down into 2 possibilities. Either there are no simulations, or there are many simulated realities and 1 base reality. In mathematics, when there is no information to decide the likelihood of something being true, each is considered equally likely. This is known as the principle of indifference. So in this case, there is a 50% chance that there are no simulations and a 50% chance there are. But even if number 2 is true, that there are many simulations and 1 base reality, there is still the possibility that we are in the base reality and are the first civilization to create a simulation. This means that the probability of us living in the real world, the base reality, is now slightly higher. People like Elon Musk believe and predict based on the development of video games that we will one day be capable of creating simulations. If we do create a simulation containing conscious beings, then the statistics
I wonder if they have that.
And most of the arguments against the possibility of us living in a simulation will fail. And we will most certainly be living in a simulation ourselves. Coming up next, the scientists
I wonder if they already have that, though.
whether we are in a simulation, the arguments for why we are not in a simulation, and the costs to create a computer powerful enough to run a simulation of the universe.
Exactly.
Is it possible to test whether we are living in a simulation?
Too
Work is
expensive.
being done to test if the simulation theory is true. Here are 3 ways that scientists are testing to see if we are living in a simulation. The tests come from the idea that the simulation we are living in is run on a computer with a limited amount of computational power, just like a normal computer, and that there could be some subtle bugs in the simulation, just like in a video game. If we could detect these, this could point towards the fact that we are living in a simulation. NASA engineer Thomas Campbell and his colleagues are trying to test if the simulation is only rendering what we can see, as the simulation would not simulate everything at once as a way to save computing resources, much like in video games today. It is the technological version of the philosophical idea called solipsism. Thomas Campbell and his colleagues have designed a quantum physics experiment, one that uses a sequence of mirrors, lasers, and slits. They believe that if the universe is a simulation that only simulates what we are looking at, then the light should behave abnormally and clearly show if we are in a simulation.
Oh.
Another test comes from the fact that as the simulation grows, it may accumulate errors over time. The simulators would correct the errors by modifying the laws of nature. However, no drift has been observed in the physical constants over many decades. Maybe our measurements are not accurate enough, or the modifications happen over extended periods of time beyond humanity's history.
Too deep. Too deep.
Another scientific experiment being set up to test if we are in a simulation comes from Silas Bean, a nuclear physicist from the University of Washington. He proposes that we could find the limited resolution at which the universe is rendered. Space-time is the mathematical model which combines the 3 dimensions of space, length, width, and depth, with the dimension of time. When physicists simulate small parts of space-time, they break up the universe into a grid-like lattice and simulate small chunks at a time. Silas Bean and his team look at cosmic rays as visible light. He argues that if the simulation is broken down into a grid, then these high-energy cosmic rays will have energies that vary in different directions. So if we can observe this, then we can prove that we are in a simulation.
Can't believe
the next step is to see what happens when real-world cosmic rays hit their instrument. But cosmic rays only hit a square kilometer of Earth once every 100 years, so this will take some time to prove.
Folks.
While some people believe that we are in a simulation, others argue that this is not true. William Poundstone, who wrote the book called The Doomsday Calculation, the link is in the description, points out a potential hole in the simulation argument. When we make books, movies, or video games, they are usually made within a few hundred years of our current day. William argues that a simulation would be close in time to that of the simulator's world. In this case, our simulation should have widespread simulation technology and be in a futuristic era. As we do not have this technology, we would be more of an ancient civilization and be an unlikely choice for a simulation. But others argue that this is making assumptions about what an advanced civilization would do with simulation technology. They may have completely different preferences to our own. And there is no indication that this universe was created for us. We could just be artifacts and byproducts in a simulation that was made to test some hypothetical scenario. Another argument comes from cosmologist Sean Carroll. If simulations are possible, then civilizations living in them will be able to create more simulations. There could be thousands of layers, and the deeper you go, the more simulations there are. So statistically, the largest number of simulations and simulated people are in the deepest layer. But each simulation has to be less complex than the universe above it, because the computer power will decrease every time a new layer is created, since the level above has to compute it along with the simulations below the simulations. Therefore, there is a limit, a floor, to how deep you can go. The civilization at the lowest stage will not be able to create simulations because there are no more resources available. If the simulation hypothesis is correct and there are multiple levels, then we are certainly at the lowest level and we may not be able to create simulations. If we can't create a simulated universe, how do we know if a universe could ever be simulated? This is called the Carroll's contradiction. Many say that this is not a contradiction, and that we can in fact be both in a simulation and unable to simulate a universe ourselves. Let's take a look into the future. Silas Bean, the nuclear physicist trying to test if we are in a simulation, believes that we will be able to simulate the entire universe within 500 years. In reality, we will likely continue to do what we do with video games, which is to only simulate the parts of the universe that the players are currently looking at. This would mean that we could simulate an entire universe much sooner, depending on the number of simulated people within the universe. Nick Bostrom says that scientists consider the number of operations per second to replicate a human brain to be between 10 to the power of 14 and 10 to the power of 17, with additional computing power added to simulate the environment. Computers today can do over 10 to the power of 9 operations per second. To save computing power, it is possible that everything is simulated in 2D, making you a 2D person. And everything is then projected in 3D, just like 3D movie screens or holograms. Bostrom adds that we can evaluate the cost to create a realistic simulation of all of human history to be between 10 to the power of 33 and 10 to the power of 30.
That's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of numbers. Okay, it's not,
but it's really real. It's
that's the only one? Is that the only one, I think?
You all right, little one?
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension.
Evidence of a parallel universe was put forth back in 2015. Now scientists believe they have uncovered evidence of not only a neighboring parallel universe, but one in which time runs backwards. According to the New York Post, scientists conducting cosmic ray detection experiments in Antarctica have uncovered what they believe is evidence of a parallel universe.
Hey, do you feel like getting up? Are you going to end up dying light?
They reportedly detected high-energy particles rising out of Antarctica, which is contrary to how these particles are supposed to behave. They're supposedly only able to be detected when they come down from space. So to detect them going up instead of down could imply that the particles are traveling backwards in time. That's the theory, at least. The New Scientist breaks down the possible discovery like this. That strange finding was made in 2016. Since then, all sorts of suggestions rooted in known physics have been put forward to account for the perplexing signal, and all have been ruled out. What's left is shocking in its implications. Explaining the signal requires the existence of a topsy-turvy universe created in the same Big Bang as our own and existing in parallel with it. In this mirror world, positive is negative, left is right, and time runs
if
backwards.
you're gonna hit it up soon or
IGN
anything,
can
then I'll
confirm
jump
the
on
existence
too.
of this parallel, backwards universe. In fact, we have a satellite office there.
Oh,
Go now
I'm
to
bored,
know
man. I don't want to watch this shit.
Cool. For all the news in the universe says, stay tuned, IGN.
Look at this. What the fuck?
Hey, all you screenwriters, Professor Brian Greene. Yeah, that Elegant Universe String Theory World Science Festival Brian Greene is going to show you the correct way to time travel. Ahead on Science Goes to the Movies.
Yeah, I'll start up a new stream. That's pretty hectic, man. That's pretty hectic, man. Oh, dear. Look at lowered ceiling. There's a new lowered ceiling, guys. It's just over. It's lost his mojo. It's lost his mojo. That's the reality of this stuff. The reality is the hedgers have control. The 1%, they're in on it with the market makers, with everybody, all the way up to Congress. And they control the market. They run it. They run it. And if it wasn't the case, they wouldn't have knocked it down this much. Half the market cap wouldn't have evaporated. You wouldn't have ceilings at fucking 20 and walls at like lower. Look at this. On a day when it should run, it's not running. Because they're doing the same shit to GME, see? It's an algorithm. They run at the same time. Boom, boom. Although there's more buying pressure on GME than AMC, like usual. But, as you can see. Oh my, folks. That's not a simulation. That's not a simulation, folks. Yeah, I'll be starting up a stream again in like